Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best coffee grinders.
Starting at number 5.
Baratza Virtuoso Plus Coffee. The Virtuoso Plus allows you to be more hands-off with its operation, thanks to its timer. You can set it to grind for a specific time, turn it on, walk away, and return to beans that are never overground. The Encore, by contrast, must be stopped and started manually. Otherwise, it is a bit of a general step up from the Baratza Encore, too, with stronger blades that are able to get a slightly finer grind for espresso. You can see a good demonstration in this video. If one or both of those attributes appeal, I think it's worth the extra $50. 4 of our baristas praised this model. Ricardo also notes that it's fast and relatively quiet.
Coming at number 4.
Brew Conical. I'm not obsessive about weighing my coffee, I measure by scoops. But for those who are, this OXO model makes it easy, and as Schlater points out, it cuts down on the equipment you need. You add your beans to the hopper and select from 15 grind sizes. From there, you set the machine to weigh the ground coffee one of 3 ways, manually so you have full control, by grams, great for espresso and pour over, or by the number of cups of water you brew in a standard electric maker, what I tested since I use my Bonavita machine every morning. In this last setup, it allots for 8 grams of ground coffee per cup, though you can also adjust that by a couple of ounces in either direction by sliding a notch at the front. Once everything is set, you simply press the knob on the front and it spits out the exact amount of grounds you need to brew. It's an incredibly thoughtful product, Schlater says. The only downside I found is the small gap between the dispenser and the opening of the jar that collects the coffee. Some grounds spurt out and onto the counter during grinding. To be fair, most grinders make a bit of a mess, but it was enough that it feels worth noting. At the end, the stainless steel body wipes up easily and cleanly, and I would say it's not so annoying as to deter from the overall convenience of using this unit.
At number 3.
CUISINART Coffee Grinder. Before I got my hands on the Baratza, this was the entry-level grinder I had for about a year, one of the most affordable on the market with burr-style blades. It's quite intuitive to use. You simply fill the chamber with beans, set the dial to any of the 18 settings between fine and coarse grind, set the number of cups you are planning to brew, though you won't need this if you pre-weigh the amount of beans you put in the first place, and press start. And while I only used mine once a month or so, I sometimes buy pre-ground beans, and even more so back in the day. Strategist writer Aaron Schwartz has used the same model nearly every day for more than 5 years and says it's kind of incredible that it hasn't broken or shown any signs of serious wear and tear yet. They like that the top container can fit a standard size bag of beans so they don't have to waste pantry space on leftovers. And while they note that it's not the easiest to take apart to clean, most of the pieces are dishwasher safe, and it stores well, rectangular and compact with a place to wrap the cord underneath.
Number 2 of my list.
Krups Coffee Grinder. If you're not quite ready to take the plunge on a model upwards of $100, the Krups Precision Grinder is a solid place to start. It comes recommended by Paul Schlater, owner of New York City-based Birch Coffee, who promises it has the essentials: 12 settings for selecting your preferred grind size and a cup selector dial to grind the exact amount of coffee you need for the number of drinks you're making, and that's it. The simplicity is exactly what strategist writer Jeremy Relosa, who bought the machine about a year ago, likes about it. Previously, Relosa used a hand crank model that took too much work and a blade grinder that resulted in uneven ground size. The Krups, he says, solves both these problems, giving him the ease of an electric machine and the consistency of a burr blade, he says. Now, he says he makes great pour-over daily and never has to fidget with the grind setting or cup dial. He simply pours his beans in, turns it on, and walks away. The appliance also comes with a tiny brush to get all the coffee unstuck from the plastic grounds container, he says. But if you keep it clean, I've found that you rarely have to use it. The bits just slide right off as you dump them into your filter.
And number 1.
Baratza Encore Coffee. I've been using the Baratza Encore for a year now, and I love it. It's one of the tools that has convinced me to up my at-home coffee game. The machine is super intuitive to use, and initially took me no more than 5 minutes to set up and get a handle of. There are 2 simple switches, on and off, and a dial to choose from 41 grind settings, numbered 0 to 40. Mine generally stays between 25 and 30 to work with my standard coffee machine, but I've used the smallest setting for espresso, notoriously difficult to get as fine of a grind as you need, with no problem. And the subtleties between all the sizes are very apparent. You can make minute adjustments if you're dedicated to landing on exactly what will yield the best cup for your particular coffee brewing method. It takes a couple of rounds to grind a full bag of beans, how I do it, as opposed to per serving, but works quickly at about a minute per turn. In general, my biggest qualm with coffee grinders is the mess they make, but this one has nicely angled sides on the grind chamber that allow for relatively neat pouring. And it's easy to disassemble, clean, and reassemble the detachable parts before I store it.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.